Have you ever wondered why a simple cup of coffee can cost $4 in one cafe, but only $1 across the street? Or why supermarkets secretly guide you towards certain products?
Or how companies seem to know exactly how much you're willing to pay, sometimes better than you know yourself. Today, we're diving into the hidden economic forces that shape your daily life, inspired by Tim Harford's The Undercover Economist.
Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any of our future deep dive videos on how the world really works. All right, let's uncover the economics behind everyday life.
Scarcity creates power. Harford's first big insight is simple but extremely powerful. When something is rare or hard to get, whoever controls it gains the ability to set prices and influence decisions. Think about a coffee shop with limited seats. Because space is scarce, the owner can charge more.
The person who controls what's scarce controls the price. When resources or goods are limited, the one in control can decide the value. Imagine a small cafe with only a few tables. Because seats are scarce, the owner can charge more. Scarcity gives power, and power drives prices.
Think about a popular coffee shop located right next to a busy train station. They have scarce real estate, a location with huge customer flow. That scarcity gives them power to charge higher prices.
Meanwhile, the cheaper cafe a few streets away may serve similar coffee, but they lack the scarce advantage of location.
Scarcity equals market power, which equals higher prices. This explains why airport food is overpriced, why concerts cost so much, and why some neighborhoods have expensive groceries.
The supply and demand dance. Harford breaks down supply and demand not as a classroom diagram, but as a real-world negotiation between consumers and producers.
If a cafe keeps raising its prices and customers still buy, it means demand is strong. If customers walk away, the business learns that price is too high.
Over time, the market finds the equilibrium price, the point where customers buy exactly as much as businesses want to sell.
But here's the twist. Businesses with scarcity power can push that equilibrium higher. So supply and demand is not just a theory. It's a continuous conversation happening every time you shop.
Market secrets. Information asymmetry. Harford also talks about information asymmetry, which is when one side knows more than the other. It affects how we shop, what we pay, and the choices we make, because the balance of information shapes the entire market.
Here's a classic example of information asymmetry. A used car seller knows more about the car than the buyer. The seller understands the vehicle's history and hidden problems, while the buyer often has to guess. That imbalance of information shapes the entire deal.
A bank knows more about its financial products than you do. They understand the fine print, risks, and hidden details, while most customers only see the surface. That information gap shapes decisions and gives the bank an advantage.
A supermarket knows exactly which aisle layouts make you spend more. They study customer behavior, product placement, and walking patterns to guide your choices, even when you don't notice. That knowledge gives them a powerful advantage.
Symmetry. When sellers have more information, they can price strategically or even subtly manipulate your decisions. Their knowledge lets them shape what you see, how much you pay, and the choices you think you're making freely.
One of the coolest parts of the book is how Harford explains the secret logic behind pricing. Sometimes a price has nothing to do with cost and everything to do with strategy and customer behavior.
For example, a latte doesn't cost much more to make than a regular coffee. But cafes charge more because you're paying for the premium experience, not the ingredients.
But it's priced higher because customers are willing to pay more. The cost of making it is low, but the value in the customer's eyes allows cafes to charge extra.
of pricing. This is called value-based pricing, charging according to what something is worth to you, not what it costs to produce. It's all about the perceived value in the customer's eyes.
Companies constantly test which version people will buy, how much convenience is worth, how much status is worth, and what feels premium. This helps them optimize pricing and product appeal.
Once you realize this, you'll never look at a menu the same way again. Understanding how prices reflect perceived value changes the way you see every purchase.
Price discrimination. Charging different people different prices. Harford explains how businesses try to figure out who is willing to pay more and who won't.
For example, first class versus economy seating, coupons for budget-conscious shoppers, student discounts, and early bird versus last-minute pricing. These are all ways businesses charge different prices based on willingness to pay.
Businesses aren't being random. They're sorting customers into groups based on willingness to pay. This allows them to maximize revenue while matching products to customer preferences.
If you're willing to hunt for deals, you pay less. If you value convenience, you pay more. Your choices and priorities directly influence the price you pay.
$4. It's not personal, it's economics. Prices, discounts, and product placement are driven by market forces and customer behavior, not by the seller's personal feelings. It's economic.
Externalities. The hidden costs. Another key idea is externalities, the costs or benefits that affect third parties, even if they aren't part of the original transaction. I'm ultimately most important costs that people are supposed to distract of their health.
For example, pollution from a factory affects people who don't buy its products. These are hidden costs imposed on others, known as negative externalities.
Markets often fail to include these hidden costs or benefits, which is why governments use taxes, regulations, and subsidies to correct the imbalance. Restore balance. Correcting market failures with government action.
Every time you buy coffee, walk through a supermarket, book a flight, or choose between options, you are participating in the economic system, making choices shaped by incentives, prices, and scarcity. You're taking part in a complex economic system shaped by scarcity, incentives, information, and psychology. Every choice interacts with these forces, influencing prices, behavior, and outcomes.
Once you see these hidden forces, everyday life becomes much clearer and a lot more interesting. Understanding economics gives you a new perspective on the world around you.
If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more videos that uncover the economics behind daily life, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which book or topic you want next.